Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone and depending from where you're watching us from. This is Biafra Watchman TV. We are live and we are direct. We are here to bring you the gospel of redemption. And if today is the first time of coming across our video and you like the way we are propagating the gospel of Biafra, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, in the comment section, you will see our backup channel, our backup page. I will equally implore you to subscribe to that backup page. The reason why we created the backup page is in case of eventuality. But nevertheless, we are also uploading a different video entirely. Not the video we are uploading in this very channel, that we are uploading in that channel also. We are uploading two different videos. So that's why I want you guys to follow that channel so that you will be seeing the programs and videos we are dropping in that channel. All right. I believe you all must have heard about Tinubu matter with America. Kudos to Biafra lobbyists, because I know now people press this button before they resurrect this case back. Now people press this button. Kudos to you guys. You guys are doing fantastically well in your diplomatic approach. At least you guys have tried so hard so that Nigeria will be on the watch list again. And this Tinubu matter is just to send signal to Finland so that they will know that the person heading Abuja regime is a fraudulent human being. The person that reported Simon to finish authority, so that they will see the antecedent of such a man, the man heading Nigeria. Though they know everything, there is nothing Finland they don't know about Nigeria. They have ambassador there. They have their intel. They know that Nigeria is nothing to write home about when it comes to corruption. Now we are watching, because to them they believe that Western Europe, they are reaping from Africa. I don't know if they want to use this opportunity to reap their own, because as they hold Simon, they will be bargaining with Nigeria. And that the people who are in the corridors of power in Nigeria, they are willing and ready to do whatever bidding Finland requested from them. But with this very case now, is a game changer, so that we know if they will continue to collaborate with such a man who have this kind of antecedent. Let me read, though you will later listen to Biafra United's analysis, because he read all the whole information about this very case in detail. You will listen to his analysis, how he analyzed the issue. I read from Vanguard News. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, have received an order to release documents about the criminal investigation of President Bola Tinubu over alleged drug trafficking. Now, court orders FBI, DEA, this one for Sahara Reporters, to release investigative file on Tinubu over 90s drug probe. This one is for Sahara Reporters. You see FBI have ordered the release. That's why we said, we are telling Dimpa Bini that said Ogenkere, they paid $150 million into the account, Biafra Liberation account. They wired $150 million into that account. And you want to tell me that that is true, and FBI have not called Ogenkere to know the outcome about the money. To tell you that the guy is just there deceiving himself, lying to himself, not even to people. Look at FBI. You see the work of FBI. They have started to investigate back again. All right. You know, is a welcome development. I don't know if they will extradite him to US. I don't know. But one thing I know is this. After investigating, there was a lot of things will come up. Oh. You know, he said he graduated from which university self. They will say investigate that one. If at the end of the day they find him guilty, America will blacklist him, which means he cannot enter into the soil of America. And it will be a very dent. It will portray the image of Nigeria in global community in a very horrible way. That the person leading Nigeria, or the person who is the president of Nigeria, has also case. Now we want to know if Finland, after, listening, or after the FBI must have investigated this guy and come up with, evidences that indeed what he was accused of is guilty of that, then we will know if Finland will still be working with the information Tinubu supplied to them about Simon. Like somebody in the comment section, when the video I made about Burkina Faso, how the guy is fighting neocolonialism, which is the main thing that is holding back Biafra, which is the main thing that made these Westerners not to recognize or to be against Biafra. The guy was like, say, I'm deviating. Why am I talking about Burkina Faso? It's quite unfortunate that a lot of us, I don't even know how you guys think. Do you think that to be a nation, for a country to recognize you to be a nation, do you think is a child's play? Do you actually think is a child's play? Have you ever sit one day and ask yourself, how will this Biafra even emerge? How will the flag of Biafra fly a United Nation as an independent nation? Have you ever for one day think you want Biafra, you want Biafra, you want Biafra? Have you ever even think how this thing will come to reality? Have you ever think of such thing? How this Biafra will become a reality? Whereas Emeke have told you that anytime he engaged these diplomats to talk about Biafra, they shy away from talking about Biafra. They don't give listening ear to the issue of Biafra. They will buy Biafrans in their numbers. They will give it to them. They will not talk about it. Have you ever asked yourself question? Or don't you know that these same people, they are the people that will recognize you. They are the people that will recognize you to be a nation. In a situation whereby they have interest in Nigeria, they have interest in Africa, and they know fully well that if they recognize you, that you have the potential to challenge them, do you think that they can actually recognize you as an independent nation? Have you ever think, how will this Biafra come to reality? It's not a child's play. We have to be honest to ourselves. We have to be honest to ourselves. I'm not talking this thing to discourage anybody, but I'm saying this thing for us to know the right button to press. I'm saying all these things to know the right button to press. We can't continue to deceive ourselves. Like people who are claiming Biafra have come, deceiving themselves. We have to be realistic. If Biafra will come. You see this new colonialism fight that Ibrahim Traore is fighting in Africa. We have to support him. If you really want this Biafra, you have to support that young guy. You have to be learning some things from that young guy. Not only him, both Mali and Niger. We have to support them because these guys, like I said before, that thing that made these Westerners not recognize Biafra. Each time you talk about Biafra to their ears, they will start, walking away or walking out from you. It's because of new colonialism, what the interest, what they are benefiting from Africa. If these guys should resist them and chase them out of Africa, they will be weak. And there will be a way they will pressure them. They will see that their time is up. Especially this Nigeria, Britain will now wake up. Let me tell you gospel truth. If another two or three Francophone African country will tell France to attend, oh Israel, and they stood their ground the way Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso stand their ground, Britain will do the needful. Because they know as this wave is moving, if they don't do something about it, the way France lose the African countries that are their colonies, this is how Britain will lose theirs. And how they will do the needful is either they call Nigeria for referendum so that they will benefit, they will see if they can, what they are getting from Nigeria, to see if they can still be getting it when the whole people, when Nigeria must have been balkanized. So we need to understand this thing. We can't continue to deceive ourselves. Freedom is not a child's play. Recognition is not a child's play. It's not by declaring Biafra. It's by nations recognizing you. You listen to what Michael Robbins said. He said we have to go back to Africa and go and start lobbying nations that will recognize you. You that dropped that thing that in the comment section that said, I'm deviating. I'm talking more of Burkina Faso now. I'm asking you, how many, since after the redeclaration of Biafra, how many African countries have recognized you? Fully independent African nation. I'm not talking about Ambazonia, who are still fighting the same cause we are fighting, and the Eritrea. How many independent nations have recognized you? If you think it's easy to get that recognition. How many? We have to tell ourselves truth. No need of deceiving ourselves. Recognition is not a child's play. It's not a child's play. It's not by going to US, seeking for US recognition. Mark my word, before US will recognize us, they must know how many African countries that have recognized us. Charity begins at home. They can't recognize us when there is no African nation that have recognized us. That's the simple truth. That's the simple truth. So we have to start looking back home now. And to me, the people will share same ideology that the West, we know what we've suffered in the hand of Britain. The same thing with this country that said, France, to your tent. They've suffered a lot from France. You see that we have common problem, which is this Westerners. To me, I feel that our people who are in diplomatic this thing has to also lobby, because I don't know if the work of our lobbyists ended in US because they're supposed to be lobbying some certain countries for us. It's not only US. These are our lobbyists. They have to be lobbying some African country, making the connections for BRGI, government in exile, to be connecting with some African countries, lobby them to recognize us. Because as it stands today, no African country have recognized us. We need recognition now, recognition. So we got to know the right button to press. The reason why the West don't want to listen to us is because of interest they have in Nigeria and they have in Africa. But thank God that these people have risen to the occasion to tell them Africa is no longer a pushover. They know they give them breathing space again for Africa. There will be a time they will pressure them. They will say, man, at least by now, our time is up. That's one thing about whites. There is a way you will pressure them. They will know, man, it's all over. It's game over. Unlike black, unlike DCOG. I want you guys to listen to the analysis of Biafra Unite on the issue. On this issue of Tinubu. I greet you all genuine Biafrans. Peace and love.
Breaking news. Tinubu in trouble as U.S. court orders FBI to release his criminal record in America for possible extradition and imprisonment. Hear the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel /television this very moment. Today's date is 13th of April 2025, and I have breaking information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Dear friends and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people. The president of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria, is in panic mood at this very point in time because there is every possibility of him being extradited to America and serve a prison term over there. Don't tell me anything about immunity because immunity is all about the criminals, or should I say the criminal politicians who are occupying or illegally occupying public offices here in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. Illegally, because they all rig themselves into offices. None of them. I can beat my chest and tell you right now that there is no any politician in the zoo that is occupying any public office who is elected democratically, genuinely elected by the citizens or indigents of wherever he is serving. That one I can beat my chest and tell you. And if you are genuine, even though you don't support Biafra, you don't support the zoo breakup, but if you want to be genuine, if you want to say the truth, you will concur with what I am saying right now. So we all know Tinubu is a criminal. We all know his record in America. We all know he's a drug dealer. We all know his activities in America. And we all know how he paid billions in millions of dollars in order to seal this very record, in order to force FBI under the former president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, to hide his criminal record in America. We know. And he was helped by Joe Biden himself, because even Joe Biden helped to get him into power, because he is a Western puppet. Tinubu is a Western puppet. We all know this. So now the man in charge in the person of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, who does not care, who doesn't tolerate the criminality of African leaders, has told the court to order FBI and DEA to release Tinubu's criminal record in America for a possible extradition and imprisonment in the United States of America. So, Okudiover. And again, the reason why I'm bringing this very, news to you is for you also to see those who are leading you, who are your leaders, your political leaders in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. So we are going to read this very news in details from Punch News Nigeria, as you can see on your screen. But before we continue, I want to draw your attention, all Biafrans and lovers of freedom, especially those in Europe and America or some part of Asia, who will be attending this all-important protest that is taking place in Finland on the 9th of the month of May 2025 for the immediate and unconditional release of the Biafran Prime Minister, His Excellency Ekpa Simon Njoku. This protest is what every Biafran should be talking about right now, because we all have seen what is happening in the Biafra struggle since the arrest of the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. Everything has completely gone left. If you want to tell yourself the truth, you'll be truthful. If you want to be sincere, you'll be sincere. It doesn't matter who you support. If you don't want to be truthful, that is your own business. Since the arrest of the Prime Minister, everything in Biafra struggle has gone left. That is the reason why people like me, Biafra Unite, has taken my stand. Because those who claim to be leaders are the ones that the zoo used to divide the house. So don't ask him any question. The protest is being organized in Finland by the Biafrans in Finland, not for or by any government. Whoever you support, please keep it in your house while you attend this very protest for our Prime Minister. Only for our Prime Minister, not for any government. Now, the inquiry number for Finland protest, as you can see on the headline on your screen, for the release of Mazi Simon Ekpa, please call +358 4024 36561. That is the number to call for those of you who will be making more inquiries about this very all-important protest, or those of you who want to join the WhatsApp group for this very protest, or those who will be booking hotel reservation for this very all-important protest. Kindly call the number on your screen right now and you will get all the information that you need. Now, going back to this very news, headline says, U.S. court orders FBI, DEA to release Tinubu's probe records. Date, 13th April 2025. It's a breaking news today as I'm speaking. This is not a joke. A United States District Court in Columbia has ordered the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Drug Enforcement Administration. Did you hear that? Did you hear another organization that is involved? Drug Enforcement Administration. These are the people who have Tinubu's record in America. These are the agencies that know who Tinubu is, to release records relating to the criminal investigation of President Bola Tinubu over alleged drug trafficking. Oh, say it go. This has absolutely nothing to do with Biafra propaganda. As you can see, I am reading from a Zoo media, and this news is coming from America. It's not even a Zoo news, it's from America. Now, Judge Barry Howell, in a ruling dated April 8, which can be found on the court's website, directed both agencies to search for and process non-exempt records. Tried to Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, request filed by American researcher Aaron Greenspan. Greenspan, founder of Lego transparency platform Plainsight, had submitted 12 FOIA requests between 2022 and 2023, seeking information on a Chicago drug ring that operated in the early 90s. Imagine this man had already over $1 million and forfeited over 700,000 US dollars in the 90s, early 90s. I think that happened around 1991 in America, because he had to run for his life after he was caught and arrested in Chicago, United States of America, for drug trafficking. He had to forfeit 700 and something thousand US dollars for him to escape from America. And today, he's the one leading you as a president. Mad people everywhere. And they continued. His report included records on Tinubu and 3 others, Le Andrew Edwards, Moes Adeboyega Akande, and Abiodun Abele. The FBI and DEA had previously issued glamour responses, a refusal to confirm or deny the extent of requested records, but the court ruled that such responses were improper in this case. Remember that this case started since the administration of Joe Biden, not today. Not today. And Donald Trump was waiting, watching. Tinubu, if you escape justice in the zoo because of the corruption in Africa, you can never escape justice in America. The FBI and DEA have now been ordered to conduct a search and release non-exempt materials, while the parties are to report back to the court on the case's status by May 2nd, 2025. Any privacy interest implicated by the FOIA request to the FBI and DEA for records about Tinubu are overcome by the public interest in release of such information. Did you see that? By public interest. That is the same word they used last year during the Joe Biden era. They say public interest. That's why they failed to release that, information to the public, because Tinubu doesn't want his criminal activities to be released to the public. So they use that word public interest as a public figure, as an office holder, as a president of the zoo, a criminal. Since the FBI and DEA have provided no information to establish that a cognizable privacy interest exists in keeping secret the fact that Tinubu was a subject of criminal investigation. Hey! Hello, Melo. What's it to go? They have failed to meet their burden to sustain their glamour responses and provide an additional reason why these responses must be lifted. The court upheld the CIA's glamour response after Greenspan considered that the agency had acknowledged the extent of responsive records. The judge ruled, for the reasons discussed above, plaintiff is entitled to summary judgment as to each of the 4 glamour responses asserted by defendants FBI and DEA, while defendant CIA is entitled to summary judgment since its glamour response was properly asserted. Okwu akpọkụ n'ọnụ. Tinubu nekwagi nekwanga na America. It doesn't matter your age, nekwagi nekwanga na America. Accordingly, the FBI and DEA must search for and process non-exempt record responsive to the FOIA request directed to these agencies. The CIA, meanwhile, is entitled to judgment in its favor in this case. The remaining parties are directed to file jointly by May 2nd, 2025, a report on the status of any outstanding issues in this case as described in the accompanying order. Wow. I am not going to analyze it. I'm going to wait till May 2nd, 2025, just next month. We are going to see that report that Tinubu paid huge amount of money for them to hide. We are going to see it. You think corruption is only here in the zoo or in Africa? Corruption is everywhere, but depending on the leader who is at the helm of affair. I'm telling you, but under Donald Trump, it's not going to fly. This corruption cannot continue or fly in America. Tinubu, breeze don't blow, foul nyash don't open. Thank you, my people. To salo no mozi akona poto and make it go viral.